Hey, welcome everybody to another late night edition of the Think and Grow Rich and Organic Food for Thought with quote mashup. Today is February 9th, 2018, and today's chapter in Think and Grow Rich is our favorite one, the Mystery of Sex Transmutation. Okay, so the Mystery of Sex Transmutation is kind of a chapter that's pretty difficult to read and pretty difficult to kind of get through if you're somebody like me, because you just spend your time scratching your head sometimes like, hey, it can't be this real, but it totally makes sense when you read it. So there are basically 10 stimuli in the mind, the 10 most powerful emotional stimuli in the mind. The first one is the desire for sex expression, okay? Hey, Eric, thanks for watching. We got our first watcher, folks. Okay, so the first stimuli of the mind is the desire for sex expression. The second one is love. Third one's burning desire for fame, power, or money. The fourth one is music. Hey, Cynthia. The fifth one is friendship. Six is mastermind with harmony for spiritual or temporal advancement. The reason I added the harmony thing in there is a lot of people form mastermind groups. A lot of them are bogus. They're just little powwows where people are drinking coffee or having lunch. They're not really using a mastermind kind of the way I explained it yesterday. When you run batteries in a circuit, each battery adds to the voltage to give it more power. The sixth one, as far as the stimuli of the mind, is the mastermind, and it says with harmony, okay? Meaning all people have to be working for the same objective. So if Eric's business, Cynthia's business, and my business all were different, but we can intertwine them together to accomplish a specific objective, like each one of us be the number one business person of that sort in Mesa, then we can form a mastermind group if we're always working together in harmony. So I'm going to move on. The seventh one, as far as the stimuli in the mind, is mutual suffering. 8 is autosuggestion. 9 is fear. And 10 is narcotics or alcohol. Okay? Now, I'm going to end on the narcotics and alcohol one, or touch on the last one on the list with narcotics and alcohol. Edgar Allan Poe, for example, was really big into drinking. There are a lot of authors, musicians, different people like that that are really big on drinking or doing drugs. And believe it or not, that does allow them to tap into a certain type of mental vibration that gives them massive amounts of creativity. Okay? But narcotics and alcohol are actually the weakest of the mental stimuli in the mind. The number one mental stimuli is the desire for sex expression, okay? Now, when we're talking about sex expression, we're not talking about like, oh, Cynthia's really pretty, like I want to be with her, that type of thing. It's more along the lines of like, look, we're human beings, we're part of a race. The race has been around, our species has been around for a long time, and the reason we're able to be around for a long time is we have the desire through sex to perpetuate mankind, okay? And when you think about it, you've got people that live in conditions like I grew up in Korea. Winter Olympics are in Korea. It's really cold in Korea. So if a whole bunch of people from Jamaica move to Korea, they might die off in the wintertime unless they figured out a way to survive. We've got horrible conditions that sometimes happen with the plague in Europe, different things like that, but mankind continues to move on, and part of that is because no matter how bad things get, people will still be making babies, okay? So we as humans continue prolonging our species and creating more and more. We're perpetuating mankind. And if you think about it, sex then becomes a very powerful thing. It becomes so powerful that it can actually ruin men's careers. Okay? When you think about these guys that have these hard-working lives, they come up from nowhere, rags to riches type thing, but they work hard, then they hit their 40s, they're in their prime, and the next thing you know, they got a sexual harassment charge against them. Could be because they didn't know how to control their desire for sex expression. Okay? So sex could be a powerful enough thing to make a species survive, but it can also be a powerful enough thing to ruin somebody's career. As it relates to the chapter in Think and Grow Rich, it basically is like this. If I really want to go out in Marina, for example, and Marina, I don't know you, but just pretend I wanted to go out in Marina, I would think of all kinds of creative ways. Like maybe I'll see that she goes to Starbucks. We call that stalking, okay? But maybe I see that she goes to Starbucks and I kind of make it so I'm getting the same kind of coffee as her right before her. The mind will come up with all kinds of creative ways to get something accomplished if a person desires to have that emotion of love or friendship or sex with another person. And again, it's a very, very powerful thing. It's a very creative thing that the mind does. So use that, harness that power in accomplishing the goals and results that you want. It's laid out way better in the chapter. It is a 20-page, 30-page read, but enjoy it if you can. Now I'm going to move on to the quote. Sorry I spent so much time on the Think and Grow Rich part. Hi, Diane. Okay, so the quote is from a guy named C.S. Lewis. You guys might know him from the Chronicles of Narnia or the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. His quote says, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." Okay, so he's probably pretty good at dreaming about stuff if he wrote Narnia and all that type of stuff. I'll just let you know he's something called a Christian apologetic, which is somebody that wrote in defense of certain things relating to the Bible and faith and how miracles work. The reason I know all this is because I had to do a lot of research to figure out how this could mash up with a whole chapter on sex transmutation. What I found was he actually ended up going to war in World War I, and he made a commitment with a buddy of his. They had this deal that if one of them died, the other would go back and take care of the other person's family. So apparently, C.S. Lewis's buddy dies in an accidental shelling. C.S. Lewis goes back and takes care of the dude's mom. Her name was Jane Moore. She was 25 years his elder, and rumor has it that he was romantically involved with her. Now, if you think about it, if he's romantically involved with a woman 25 years older than him, she ain't gonna let him get away with anything. I mean, it's gonna be one of those things where like an older woman knows how to keep an eye on her man. Okay, I don't care if it was the early 1900s, that's just the way it is. So he probably had a very, very controlled way of doing things, and that led to him being able to focus any type of drive or desire that he had into producing creative works. So in a roundabout way, I went ahead and mashed it up. But getting back to the quote, "You're never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream." To give you an idea, he wrote this awesome book that everybody thought was awesome called Miracles. He gets demolished in a debate with a woman regarding one of his chapters, chapter 3 in the book. Instead of him snubbing his nose at her, he set a goal to make it right, and 3 years before his death, he rewrote the book or revised the book to redo chapter 3 to make it more in line with what he learned through the debate that he got demolished in. So, that said, the mashup is this. Use the power of sex transmutation. Use the ability of your mind to think of creative ways to be with somebody. If you're happily married and you've been married for 30, 40 years, think back to how it was in the beginning. Harness that power of the feeling that you had 30, 40 years ago and use that for creative works. That said, couple that with this, make a goal, and use your newfound power of the power of sex transmutation to help you accomplish that goal. Sorry for the lengthy organic food for thought, but I hope you enjoyed the mashup, and thanks everybody for watching so late. Have a good night.